Well, it's about time we reflected on that transfer cliffhanger from the last episode. One out of three came into the club, and based on what happened away in Europe last week, I'm kind of now wishing it was two. Yes, hello, and welcome along to part 147 of this Build a Nation story, Lifting Spirits with me, Daniel. We are back today, as you can see, with the title race not in our hands, and more importantly, we are on a knife edge when it comes to European football. Linfield have not replicated their European miracle of last year. They crashed out at the last 32 in horrific style. And we might be about to do the same in the last 16 of the Europa League. We'll see that a bit later on, but first we've got to deal with real fixture congestion. We had the first leg of our European tie on Thursday. We had a game 2 days before that. We had a game 2 days after it, and another one today 2 days after that. This is becoming pretty tricky to manage, even for a squad our big. And against a Glenavon side that have given us more trouble than most this year, it could be a very frustrating day. We've already dropped a lot of silly points since the last episode, but we have brought in one big signing. You saw the three that were pending on deadline day. I basically ruled out one of them before the episode finished, and I've gone for one out of the two with the others. We'll go and have a look at who. You can tell me who you think it is in the comments. But first, if you're looking forward to this one, a season that may see the coefficient dip and Linfield nick the title back from us, then please do put a thumbs up on the video. But for now, let's go straight through to the transfer screen. We've got two players joining LAN, which we knew about, but we had one big player joining us. We loaned out a young goalkeeper, but he was not replaced by Morgan Hassin. It was Klaus Bayervang who came into the club. 3.3 million from Adence. He did not get that contract offer from Dortmund in the end, and as a result he comes to join our football club, where, to be fair to him, he has started pretty well. So he's going to be a big one on Thursday night. He is by far the biggest earner at the club, but hopefully we'll make a profit on him, or he'll reduce his demands as the years go on. He did join while he was still 18 as well, so he will become homegrown at the club, but I didn't feel I could justify Morgan Hassin. He was earning or requesting to earn 4 times more than any player at the club. And when you compare him to Jim Morrison, our normal goalkeeper, well, to be fair, he's not even better on paper. So we'll leave that one till the summer. We'll park it and see what's available then. But for now, let's go and have a look at the schedule. And I've got to show you, before we reflect on all of them, this Espanyol game last Thursday, because we made the decision not to sign Hassin. We said Morrison's had a good year, it'll be fine. Let me show you the first goal we conceded in a 2-0 defeat. It leaves us a lot of work to do today. We've had players out. It's been frustrating. But there aren't many more moments that have annoyed me than this one. If we have a look at what happens here defensively, Jim Morrison gets the ball and he smashes it straight at the centre forward who heads in. That is making me think I should have signed Morgan Hassin, who's never really let me down for Northern Ireland. But we were deservedly beaten. We've got a lot of work to do later in this episode. For now, though, let's have a look at what's been happening since you were last with me. You were here for that remarkable win against Bournemouth after disappointing defeat against Linfield took us out of control of the title race. And since then, well, we've got Linfield back a bit in the cup, but only just, and we've struggled again in the league. We beat Larne 5-1 in the Antrim Shield final, which was great. We hold on to that one with 2 for Scully and Merivale Austin, 1 for Missalidis as well, as unfortunately we threw away the clean sheet in stoppage time. A 2-1 win against Linfield, who went 1-0 up very early. We got back with Scully and Merivale Austin. Jordan Gash picks up a knock. More midfield injuries this year. But we did just about cling on in the end. A 5-0 win against Crusaders was strong, with Howard getting a hat-trick, Vladimir and Murphy scoring in the first minute of each half. A 3-1 win after extra time against Linfield. We finally ended the League Cup curse. They did not beat us this time, but let's be fair, we thought they were going to. Look at how it happened. David Bird scored early. We then got an injury to Bayervang second half. And then Michael Blackwell, 94th minute, equalised to take us to extra time. Thankfully, Mark Scully got a brace. He did win us the tie from there. But I did think it was going to happen again momentarily. A 3-0 win followed against Ballymena, with Missalidis getting a brace alongside an own goal. But then the disaster came. Back-to-back draws away from home. And if I'm being honest, it could have been a lot worse. We drew 1-1 against Larne. A good penalty from Morgan Griffiths was pegged back early in the second half. David Bird was sensational late on, cleared one off the line, and it did save us a point in that game. Then against Glentoran, we were 3-0 down at half-time, and we just completely collapsed with a backup team in. We did manage to come back in the second half. I brought on big guns. Stephen Cowan got a brace. And to be fair to him, that right-hand side was crucial because Gavin Reid set up the other, which Paul Elliott put away. Cowan actually played off the left when he came on, with Brendan Thompson and Jordan Howard going off in the first half an hour. That was not too bad though, because in the end, the same day, Linfield lost at Coleraine and Neil Daly, our lone player there, did us a favour. But let's be fair, it was a chance to get back in charge of the title race and we did not take it. A 3-0 win followed against Warren Point. We did a bit better in that one. Scully got 2 and Miss Elidis got 1. A 5-1 win at Ballina Millard with a Howard hat-trick, Hamilton getting 1 and Vladimir as well. Before a disastrous 2-0 defeat at Espanyol, you saw the first goal. And then a late second in a poor performance that just made that job a bit harder on Thursday night. A 3-2 win in the SPFL trophy, a very rotated side here. But Thompson, Griffiths and Howard did it early. And in the end, the 3 we brought on will hopefully have done a job. But now Tenon Dykes is out for a month, so we've lost another emergency backup. I look at the rest of this month now. It's Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 2 weeks in a row. A European game sandwiched in the middle that we're expected to do something in. And we are going to have to now because Linfield did not have the same fate as last year. They lost 8-1 on aggregate to Sampdoria. A 3-0 defeat at home, a 5-1 defeat away. I think that step up in competition has harmed them. We could do with them being back in Europa Conference next year. But how on earth do we keep this team fit? That is the big question I'm struggling with at the moment. I've no idea who's going to be available tonight. So let's just go and get into it. It is Distillery versus Glenavon. We're trying to focus on Thursday, but at this point, we normally had the league wraps up the last 2 years. Now we're nowhere near it. I'm trying to rest everyone for Thursday, but the backup team that played on Saturday, you can see there's 3 or 4 that aren't fit. So I'm going to have a bit of work to do here. I'm going to get this squad picked and we'll be back in a minute to run through the 11. Well, this is pretty tricky because there's so few players fit. There's so few that have got a manageable match load. And more importantly, of those on the pitch today that would usually be impact subs in midweek, what are we going to do in Europe? Because the bench will not be strong enough. Both fullbacks I've had to leave in. But then what happens on Thursday night? We probably don't have any deputies. This is the team I've gone for though. It is Ashley Doherty in goal, Murphy and Carter fullbacks with Hamilton in alongside Mackenzie as centre-half. Dunn and Houston the midfield too, as thankfully Jordan Gash is back from injury. That means Dunn can play in the backup team. Brendan Thompson got injured and couldn't be in there. Vladimir and Paul Elliott the wingers. Elliott has featured in 5 games in the last 14 days. He's got a very heavy match load. He's nowhere near fit. I don't have many other options. Morgan Griffiths behind Howard up front. A strong bench of game savers. They're all first 11 players when fit. So now it is about how many of them we need and whether we can get a result or if we drop more silly points. As we continue to go through this season more and more, I get far more frustrated that we lost that Derry City game because while yes, winning games in the Europa League has been great, we've got to look at the other side of it, which is playing on Thursday night again has played havoc with the schedule. And it was relatively calm when we were playing Tuesday and Wednesday. So that is something we have got to focus on next year. But of course, if we don't win the league title, that will be out of our hands. So another job we've got to get done. You can see Kean drops out of the team for Glenavon today. He did play for us in the past, as I think Corey George did on loan many a year ago. Mark Wilson, our former striker, is on the bench. He scored a great goal against us last time. They have got 2 or 3 good players, so we'll keep an eye on them. It's a game we should win. But this isn't in normal circumstances. Let's get through the first half and through the tunnel interview and see how we get on tonight. Fingers crossed, we won't need the game savers. Well, 5 minutes on the clock. It's been a quiet start to the game and it's a tired Tommy Murphy who's got it on the right wing. He's not particularly fit, but he gets it into Hamilton who finds Mackenzie. He's dropped into the backup team now. Bird has overtaken him permanently. And here he is in defensive positions again. Has support in midfield from Houston and Carr. Not sure which way round to play those two in midfield, but we're sticking with this for now. So it's a through ball to Vladimir. He's got an option in the middle. Oh, he's missed. I was already celebrating. Jordan Howard, how have you missed that? As Elliott gets down the right, how much has he got in the tank? Poor ball, but Vladimir gets there. Can't quite find the through pass though. as Mackenzie's touch is heavy, but he finds Hamilton. Has support in midfield from Damien Dunn. Back to Murphy and Elliott again. Looks down the line, but there's no one there, so he just turns and goes himself. The fullback's beaten. Can he get the cross in? Does to Jordan Howard. He's hit the woodwork this time. He's getting closer. Headed away as far as Kyle Carr. Cuts it back to Vladimir. And it's deflected over the bar. It's 0-0 with 20 minutes gone, but we are huffing and puffing. But we have not yet blown the door down as the ball comes in swinging delivery. We know it's going to the back post where Duncan McKenzie is. He's not quite the aerial threat of Smith, nor of David Bird. We've got a free kick in a dangerous position though. And we know that Morgan Griffiths can pop up with big moments. Cross in is good, but Hamilton heads over. And it's still goalless, but we have been the better side. Though after saying all of that, we're at the other end with nearly half an hour on the clock, and Glenavon have got a chance, but they waste it. Not having Wilson in there with his height and mobility does help us too, because he has been a threat in recent games as Carr brings it away. Options down the line. Looks short to Vladimir. It's not the best pass, to be honest. Forces him backwards. And Houston gets it into Griffiths, who finds Dunn. Turns in the centre circle. Looks up for Howard. He's in on the deck this time, but his touch is poor. And it's cleared away to Elliott, who finds Dunn. Chance to carry it forward. Goes back to Tommy Murphy. He beats his man. He's already knackered, but he gets in the box. And the final product isn't there. Is that the result of fatigue? That's what I want to know. Because he would normally do a lot better with that. He's already knackered. He wants to come off. And with 5 to the break, it's frustration again. As Vladimir puts the corner in. We might need set pieces today. And Duncan McKenzie has scored from 1. Vladimir's corner is good. Duncan McKenzie is on the money at the back stick. He gets a goal and he gets us the lead, which is crucial. I don't really care if we win pretty at the minute. A clean sheet and a set piece goal might well do the job, as we've got a free kick with Morgan Griffiths about 30 yards out. Fairly central, but goes for the shot. Hits the bar on the way over. Just clipped it. Was never really going in. 1-0 at half time. We are comfortable. Got 2,000 fans in, which is big for a game like this as well. We're definitely moving forward, but if we don't win the league, that can all turn very quickly. I'm going to give the fullbacks 10 more minutes because I'm trying to work out how long can I give the players that are going to play on Thursday without harming them for that game. So we're going to go for Murphy off for Reed, Stow on at left back for Carr, and then I'm looking at Bayavang for Houston. We'll switch him with Dunn. And then going forward, what do we do? I mean, in fact, I could go for Jordan Gash because he's looking to build his fitness up again. Morgan Griffiths will come off for Bayavang. And then a final sub. Do I take off Vladimir? We're going to need him in the week. Although Elliott's knackered. So we'll give it 10 more. We'll save one change in case of injury. Because we've had one in most games this year. It's a free kick for Glenavon just outside their box. Keeper clears long to Elliott. Howard can release his man now. It's overhit. Bayavang won't get there. But the keeper's flown out. His ball forward's not good enough. Gash gives it away though. Hamilton wins it back for Reed. I just want a second goal to calm this down because we have got silly moments in us. And particularly when you're not fit, it only takes one mistake. The Stow carries it down the left for Vladimir. Good ball to Bayavang. He's chipped it over the keeper. And you get to witness the big money signing's first goal for the club. He's a record signing on a record wage. And he's a wonder kid with a brilliant finish in him. An hour gone, it is 2-0 to Distillery. And that should be game over as Vladimir gets the free kick in, which is headed away. His second touch is heavy. He might have to come off now. His set-piece delivery has been crucial. But he's not doing enough at the moment. As it's back to Stow again. Carries it forward. I'm thinking even, do I take Damien Dunn off because he's so versatile as a sub-option. As Howard's in, he's missed another one. The boy's having a stinker tonight. We'll bring on Johnny Maraval Austin through the middle. He will play up front for the remainder of this game. It's 2-0. It should be job done. Now let's just try and avoid injuries. Fingers crossed. As here we are with Miles Stow on the left-hand side. Just over 15 minutes to go. We're pushing forward again with Vladimir. Has been great tonight, but we probably won't have him on Thursday as a result. It doesn't matter though. He has kept us in the title race for now. Another great cross. This time Paul Elliott nods in. And to be fair, it's 3 goals and 3 assists for Vladimir now. He has been the key man tonight. He had a little poor spell in January or February. We just took him out of the limelight a bit. It coincided with Missalidis returning to fitness. But keeping Vladimir next year will be big as Gash finds Elliott. How good is it to have Jordan Gash back? Elliott gets to the byline. Cuts it back to Byrang. Finds Gash again. Chance to score. Puts it over. With 10 to go. It has been a dominant display. And once we got that first goal, it has really settled down. Stow's got a throw on the left, and one more would make this very cosy as Bayavang finds Vladimir. More worryingly, can we just go to 5 minutes without an injury, because there's a few tired legs out there now. 3 days to recover. We'll be chucking in that extra recovery session from the fatigue episode at the weekend, won't we? As Bayavang flicks it on for Elliott. Gets himself down the right-hand side. Chance to cross. In goes Merival Austin. Keeper's up and misses it. And that'll be a big confidence boost for him. A 30th of the season. Back to fitness after a little knock himself. And we are back in form the way we know how. We've won 4-0. Now we've got to complete the miracle on Thursday night. We're 2 down against Espanyol. We were barely in the game away from home. We've seen a lot of teams come and be negative away from home in Europe this year. And I'm hoping we'll get that on Thursday because we need a miracle. The coefficient might drop out of the top 15 again. With a good win against Glenavon, confidence back and most of our stars rested. We've given ourselves a chance. Back on Thursday, see if we can deliver. Well, it's Thursday night, and as we've got used to this year, it is just a long list of fitness tests that we have to read for each time. Damien Jude is not quite back, but Jordan Gash is ready to start. And it looks like Howard has recovered to make the bench as well, so there are going to be a few subs at least. Let's go and get through to this and remind ourselves of the situation we're in. We are 2-0 down after the away leg at Espanyol. We have got to find a way to bounce back. There is some good news though from the Northern Irish Premiership, because if we go and have a look at midweek, Linfield on Tuesday were held by Larne. They seem to be the only side that can do it to them, but it does mean that we can go top by a point if we win our game in hand. But let's be fair, we've had a few draws this season, so I'm not entirely confident. Let's get through the tactical meeting though. It is into a game with nearly 7,000 fans at Windsor Park. That's not bad. 11 changes recommended. We knew that was coming. Let's go and get our team picked. We'll be back in a minute to run through it. Well, thankfully, the way we managed those subs on Monday has worked because everyone is fit enough for a place on the bench except Paul Elliott and, of course, Damien Jude, who's coming back from injury. Jordan Gash comes in but plays in a lighter midfield role as the playmaker. He lets young Bayavang go and do all the running. But it is probably the strongest team we've put out since January, and that is definitely something that can help us tonight. It is Morrison in goal. No more hiccups from you, please. Reed and Stout at fullback. Bird is now alongside Smith as centre-half. Bayavang the new boy with Gash in midfield. Merival Austin with Cowan and Missalidis either side. He is finding some form again on the left after those injuries. And Mark Scully is through the middle up front. He's looking for his 30th of the season today. Hopefully it will come in this one. Let's go and submit the team. We're into the second leg of this Europa League last 16 tie. We could really do for the coefficient with a win. We're going to need a big one to get through. Well, Espanyol only hit by one of the 2 glitches we've seen this year. They have got a manager in place in Diego Martinez, but they haven't got the full bench. But as we've mentioned before, we've had that problem with United managing in the head coach, so it's not something that's particularly rare. Good to see them with a manager in though, and boy did it have an effect in the first leg. Late goals in both halves, a goalkeeping error for us, maybe a path out of the Europa League. Well, 6 minutes on the clock here. It's been a quiet start, but Bird has got the ball at the back, and now we're going to have to be attacking in this. Normally, I'll be balanced and sit back, but we've had to be positive, and we've given it away early. I mean, if we conceded from that, which thankfully we haven't, we probably just had to say we deserve to go, because that's calamitous. It really is shocking, and thankfully we get away with it. There's a long ball forward, which Scully is all the way back in his own half to win, but it's only given away again by Cowan. Now they can break down a left Espanyol. Back to halfway where Schurter picks it up. Has support inside, finds Casado. Into midfield is good football, but Stow nicks it. Now can we get on the front foot? Through ball to Scully. Got support from Cowan. You've got to score this to get us back in the tie. And it's a brilliant finish into the corner. Stephen Cowan makes it 1-0 on the night. Even a win tonight improves the coefficient. But if we can get through, it would be a minor miracle. We're going to have to rely on these home results, but you look at Espanyol, they still look more confident, and they have been the better side throughout this tie, as Anthony down the left-hand side for them. Carries it past the fullback, but Cowan, the goal scorer, back working hard for Reed. Oh, not in there, not in there. Gash gives it away. Cowan looks like he's limping, and it's cleared as far as the edge of the box. It's chipped in. Can we deal with it? Not really well. Bird eventually away to Merival Austin, and Missalidis will hold it up. A merciful break in the relentless pressure from Espanyol. Cowan carries it away down the right. This would be a proper smash and grab. Miraval Austin through to Misselidis, into Scully, it's just over hit. Oh, he couldn't quite get there. It's brilliant counter-attacking football. I'm not sure about the defending. Oh, we just can't go an episode without it. We cannot go a week without a key injury. And Johnny Miraval Austin this time is the man. I'm going to go Damien Dunn as the number 10. But that injury could be crucial in the title race too, which is something we have got to worry about. We've dominated this game, but Espanyol, they've offered a threat on the break. And we know we're capable of giving up a goal. And if we do, we're probably out of Europe here. We're doing well, we're playing okay. We've got to take advantage. Gasha's not got much longer in him. Misselidis hasn't been great. With Vladimir's performance on Monday, I've got to look at him soon. They're the two that will probably come off as Bird finds Luke Smith, who's not had a great game, but finds Cowan on the right. Good run to the byline. Options in the middle. Back to Bayavang. Penalty kick referee. Not giving it. Cowan back to Reed. To Jordan Gash. Chance to shoot, but back to Reed again. Into Misselidis, who puts it over. He's not having a great night. Looked a penalty to me, that one. But nothing has been given. 10 minutes gone in the second half. It's still 1-0 on a night. But we haven't really got that close many times. It's not like they've been hanging on for dear life, is it? They've just been defending them pretty solidly. So we're going to bring off Jordan Gash. He will be replaced by probably Houston at this point. Not the ideal sub, but it is what it is. And then we're going to take off Misselidis for Vladimir, with 2 more to be made shortly. 25 to go. It's been a pretty good performance so far. The goal threat's not there. Do I throw on Jordan Howard? He is the top scorer this year. With Miraval Austin gone, there's another goal threat out. As Mark Scully up from a set piece, holds up well for Vladimir. Chance to cut back on the edge of the box. Can shoot here. It's opened up. Straight at the keeper. Frustration again. Bayavang looks knackered, the youngster, as we're back with Houston in midfield. He gives it to Gavin Reed, but I've run out of centre midfielders again. Collier's out long term. Jude isn't back fit yet. Brendan Thompson's not on the bench because he's not good enough. I can only really throw on Morgan Griffiths as Smith goes back to Reed. Don't rule out me doing that either. Reed down the right. Can't make anything of it. It's given away and now there's a gap. Oh, he flew in there. I was waiting for the red card as Bayavang. He's got nothing left, is he? He's given it away. He's under pressure and he just hasn't got the legs. And that's something he's got to learn even as the big main player at this club now. As Casado gets it in, it might be too late because he could have given the ball away with this one. Sickart through, Reed has misjudged it. Options in the middle, it's back to the edge. And it's straight at Jim Morrison who deals with it. Now what do? We've got to take off Bayavang. Dunn will drop into midfield. I'll switch those two round. It will mean Morgan Griffiths is back on. Did make that big impact against Leeds a couple of years ago. And off the right, we've got Cowan playing well, but he's on a yellow. And I've still got Jordan Howard there, who could come on and be the star. I'm going to go for it. You've got to make big decisions. Jordan Howard is a goal threat. He's a natural finisher. And if we can get him in behind like we did Cowan earlier on, we can bank on him to take the chance. 10 minutes to go. Let's give them one more bit of encouragement. We're pushing everything forward here, but we've still got the goal deficit on aggregate. As Kareem gets it into midfield at Delphi, Griffiths tries to nick it, but can't get there. And you just feel as we push, there's gaps opening in defence, and you wonder if they're going to take one. Calarissa back to Ole. They keep the ball so well. Probably what you'd expect of a Spanish side traditionally. And it's something that over the tie has caused us problems. Though Stowers nicked it, then gives it straight away. All that hard work to win the ball back, and you give it straight to them. Sickart out to Mora. Here is their chance. Into the box. It's going to be 1-1. Oh, it's just wide. Free kick for offside. We get away with it anyway. There are 3 minutes to go. We've gone attacking. We've got to chase the game. But I think it will be a bridge too far. Out of Europe, despite a 1-0 win on the night. It is the last 16s again. I guess the positive, we can now focus on the title race. The negative, the Northern Irish coefficient will dip. Everyone out of Europe by the start of March. A bit different to what we had last year. But let's go and get through to the schedule. See that Miraval Austin injury. And see when we're going to be back. Now, the worry here, not the £1 million that's come in, but the top message is Miraval Austin is out of the SPFL final. That is until the 1st of April, so it's at least 3 weeks. It's 4 to 5. It's another one of those knocks. It's another one of those strains. It's another one of those muscular problems. 4 or 5 weeks out injured for him. Collier's still got 2 months as well. It's less injuries than we've had for most of the year, but it doesn't make it any easier to take. We're going to come back for the Kilmarnock game, and probably the first one after the league split. If you did enjoy this one, heartbreak against Espanyol, and back in a title race against Glenavon, then please do put a thumbs up on it. Let me know what you think for the rest of the season, and of the one big player I did decide to bring in. Do you agree or disagree with the decision? And do you think we'll eventually win the title? Neither of us have Europe now, but both with a lot of games to catch up on. Which one's going to deal with it best? Well, we'll reflect on that next time. If you don't want to miss it, subscribe and turn that notification bell on. But thank you for watching. Your support is greatly appreciated. And I'll see you back here in a couple of days' time as we go on a trophy hunt in my favourite competition.